just sitting there with her signs that said, like, we love Sophie, like, thank you, Sophie, for speaking up. And so we were holding on, just watching the game. Again, like, we were being super great. We hadn't said anything to anyone else. We were being super respectful. We were just holding our signs and cheering for both teams. And this lady, older lady, comes up to us. And she comes up to us, and at first I think she's going to be nice. And she asks, like, what are you guys doing? Something like that. And then it was like, Jesus loves everyone. That's what she told us. And I was like,
welcome back to Sophie's Own Shorts. WNBA owner suspended. Sophie Cunningham supporters caught in explosive courtside drama. Something unbelievable unfolded during the Indiana Fever's matchup against the Seattle Storm, and this time, the biggest controversy wasn't on the basketball court. It happened in the stands. Welcome back to Sophie's Own Shorts. Before we get into this explosive story, let me know in the comments. Do you think team owners should face serious punishment if they confront or insult fans? Because what reportedly happened next sparked a massive debate about fan behavior, player politics, free speech, and accountability inside the WNBA. Reports surrounding the July 28 matchup claim that a Seattle Storm ownership figure became involved in a heated confrontation with teenage fans who were supporting Fever player Sophie Cunningham. The situation reportedly became so controversial that the WNBA issued disciplinary action, including a reported 5-game suspension from
to stop the bleeding.
This Seattle Storm situation is going very south fast. Now we have other big-time business people being accused and caught on film harassing Indiana Fever fans, and these young ladies held a rally for anti-trans. Now, during this rally, nothing happened. It was calm. But the Seattle Storm co-owner, who has now been suspended, by the way, we're going to talk about that, made it her business to make sure these young ladies have a very, very tough night that night. And that's exactly what she did. Now, I said this once and I'll say it again. If I'm these young ladies' parents, I'm quickly, in a hurry, talking to legal. We have to sue not only the Seattle Storm, but you have to sue the WNBA for harassment.
And that immediately raised one major question. Was 5 games enough? The controversy began after Sophie Cunningham publicly discussed her views about protecting women and girls in sports. During an interview, Cunningham explained that she strongly believes in protecting opportunities for female athletes. She also emphasized that she doesn't hate or oppose anyone personally and believes there is room for people to have conversations with one another. Her comments quickly went viral. Supporters praised Cunningham for speaking openly about an extremely controversial issue, while critics strongly disagreed with her position. Then came the Seattle game. According to reports circulating online, teenage fans arrived at the arena carrying signs supporting Cunningham, including messages thanking her for speaking up about women's sports. What happened next allegedly turned the entire night into a controversy. Reports claim that 2 teenage girls were confronted while sitting in the crowd. According to accounts circulating online, harsh language was allegedly directed.
I always believe in that. I think it's really important to protect children, and that's little girls who are also involved in that category. And so I stand on what I said, and I always believe that.
Yeah. Do you see your advocacy on that, like, taking any form going forward?
You know, I don't know. I'm not a very political person, but I do have beliefs. I have morals, and I'll always stand on those and be true to who I am. And I think people are going to take it how they want to take it, but I've never even really said anything about that. And so when it comes just to protecting young girls in sport and women in sport, I feel very strongly about that. I think that's why you have Title IX. That's why you have some of the greats in women's sports. If Title IX and women's sports weren't protected, then you wouldn't hear about any type of women in sport. And so I think in the future, it's just really important to protect.
Okay, great opportunity for the WNBA, right? Because it's like an 80-20 issue. Most Americans don't believe that boys should play against the girls. And you're talking about a women's sport league. That's what you're talking about. Women's basketball. If you let the biological men play, you end up with the movie Juwanna Mann, or alternatively, Lady Ballers. A 14-year-old high school freshman boys starting varsity player at any decent public school in America would torch these ladies. That is just a reality. Okay, that is not sexist. That is called reality. 14-year-old boys all over America are dunking. The WNBA with biological men would just be called the NBA, and the ladies would be called ushers, or at best refs.
So when
the situation reportedly became emotional, with one of the girls allegedly crying during the game. Once those claims began spreading across social media, the reaction was immediate. Fans demanded answers. Critics questioned whether an executive connected to a professional sports organization should ever confront teenage spectators over political or social views. Others argued that the allegations needed to be investigated carefully before anyone reached conclusions. Then came the biggest development. The WNBA reportedly disciplined the Seattle ownership figure involved in the incident, barring her from attending Storm home games for 5 games. The Seattle organization also issued a public apology emphasizing that fans should feel welcome when attending games. But many fans weren't satisfied. Some argued that the punishment was far too light. Others said the league was right to take action.
And one of the co-owners of the team came over and blessed them out and used the F word. And so she was suspended. What was your reaction to this?
Well, it's important to know who these girls are and, of course, the setting of where this game took place. It happened in Seattle, the state of Washington. These girls are 16-year-old girls. They're in high school. One of the girls, her name is Annalie Wilson. She's a 16-year-old runner from Washington State who has taken a stand. Why has she taken a stand? Because she has had to live these policies. Actually, Annalie, she placed second at, I believe it was the Kashmir Junior Olympics regional track meet in the 1600. She lost to a boy. Since then, she's had to find herself standing up before school boards to her peers and to classmates and to teachers and to adults. What she told me was that Sophie's courage has inspired a generation of young athletes. She says that it is such a relief now to know that someone, especially when it comes from a professional female athlete, has their back. Mm-hmm. And now here she is, as you said, supporting Sophie, and she's being heckled by grown men and grown women, which now to the left, that's considered progressive. It's just sad that young girls, 16-year-old girls, have to be the adults in the room.
Yeah. You know, the young lady, one of the girls that you're talking about, the athlete, she was wearing an XXXY t-shirt, and that's the apparel company that was created by Jennifer Say, who is the gymnast, the former gymnast. And their mission is really just to focus on protecting women's sports. Here's Jennifer reacting to it. Listen to this.
I'm so proud of those 2 young girls. They're so grateful to have Sophie so loudly and full-throatedly in our court. These young girls have been going it alone, and to have a star from the WNBA stand up and say, yeah, girls deserve their own sports is such a huge win and a vote of confidence for these girls, and they feel like they're no longer alone.
You know, she started that company. You're wearing one of those T-shirts, too, just to protect women. And it goes back to what Sophie said. She said, there's a safe space and love for everybody. Everybody's welcome at my table. Sophie, the basketball player, says this. But she said, I want to support women. I want to make sure it's fair.
Figures should be held to a higher standard. Meanwhile, Sophie Cunningham's name became central to the controversy, even though she wasn't directly involved in the alleged confrontation. And that's where this story gets even more interesting. Cunningham has repeatedly made it clear that she is willing to stand behind her beliefs, even when those opinions generate criticism. She has also explained that she doesn't consider herself a political person, but believes athletes should be able to stand up for issues they genuinely care about. Her comments have attracted both major support and intense backlash. And now, young fans who say they support Cunningham have suddenly become part of a much larger national conversation. That's why this story is bigger than one basketball game. It's about where professional sports draw the line between fan expression,
its momentum.
Walking up to 2 16-year-old girls holding a thank you, Sophie, for speaking up for girls sign and calling them effing insane. One was in tears by halftime. The girls were backing Fever guard Sophie Cunningham, who said she wants biologically men kept out of women's sports. The Storm apologized once in with public. Cunningham is not sending the 2 girls gifts. She called Keaton's meltdown truly embarrassing. So Sophie Cunningham is sending the 2 girls some gifts, man. So I'm guessing Sophie talked about this. I wonder how they find out Sophie sending them girls something. So the owner has been suspended for 5 games. I just feel like 5 games is just not enough. It's just not enough, bro. She should be banned. These was kids. This is like a hate crime in a sense. She verbally abused someone else's children. This is very bad, guys. Like 5 games is not enough. Then y'all didn't release the type of fine. This is why we cannot take this league serious, because they do things like this that make us not want to watch it, bro. Not want to watch it at all. Now, Tuesday Fever game, one of the 16-year-old girls stayed up the night before making the sign, then spent halftime crying courtside. A couple of Storm players gave the girls a thumbs down to their face. A man told them to take out the trash on their way out. The team's apology: everyone who attends a Storm game deserves to feel welcome. Now, Sophie Cunningham, like I stated, did state, well, this has been reported that she's going to send them something, but there is video that has been released of a fan telling these young ladies they are trash. This is a bad look. And this ain't just no rinky-dink person. This is a corporate guy connected to Nordstrom's. Let's watch it. So this
on Thursday, the league and unacceptable behavior. It's about whether owners and executives should face stronger consequences when they become personally involved with spectators. And it's about whether athletes like Sophie Cunningham should continue using their platforms to discuss controversial issues, even when they know there will be criticism. There's another major factor here too. The Indiana Fever and Caitlin Clark have become some of the biggest attractions in women's basketball, meaning controversies involving the team can receive enormous attention online. The Fever organization reportedly chose not to become deeply involved in the dispute and instead kept the focus on basketball following their victory over Seattle. But online, the debate continued. Some fans believe the WNBA finally showed accountability. Others believe the punishment.
There's so many people who are coming out with the positive, saying, you know what, finally someone has said something. And I don't really look at either side of those, because I know whatever I say, I'm going to get hate and I'm going to get love. And if I'm going to live by the love, I'm going to die by the hate. And that's just not who I am. I beat to my own drum. And so people are always going to have something to say. You could win the championship. You could be the best at whatever it is. And there's still people who are going to hate on you. And so that's just what this world is. So I'm confident in who I am. I'm proud of who I am. I'm happy being me. And I'm going to continue to be that.
You always had kind of that mentality when it comes to, you know, people saying things, or is that something you've built and learned to adapt over time?
You know, I think I've always kind of been able to, you know, handle that type of pressure, I would say, and the type of eyes and the type of people who have comments. And like I said, there's, you know, going to be some negative comments, but there's also a whole bunch of positive comments too that no one really ever, you know, people hate positivity for some reason. I have no idea why, but there's a lot of positive comments too when it comes to that. And so, you know, it is what it is. Like I said, we're all human. We're no one's perfect here. And so I really don't care what other people have to say. I know who I am. My people know who I am. And hopefully I'm doing them proud and, you know, making room for young boys and girls in our world to have a better future than we did. I think people are going to take it how they want to take it, but I've never even really said anything about that. And so when it comes just to protecting young girls in sport and women in sport, I feel very strongly about that. I think that's why you have Title IX. That's why